Hello everyone and welcome to another Marvel Crisis Protocol Battle Report. Sorry, want a cameo? Close enough. And the Wakandans are taking to the field in the form of Black Panther and Killmonger in this battle report. We did a painting video on Black Panther, which you'll have seen already, hopefully. Go check it out if you haven't, if you're curious how he got painted in the manner he did with contrast paint. But we're going to also do one of the new missions that comes with the Killmonger Black Panther box. And we'll go over that in a second. It's all set up on the same kind of wasteland-ish sort of prison yard setup. But we'll get into that in a second. But I will say before we get started though, is please remember to subscribe if you want to see more Crisis Protocol and the other stuff we cover here in the future. And also, I have recently, for 2020, rebranded my Patreon, which mostly until now was to do more with my gaming, Twitch channel, etc. But bringing the tabletop gaming into the fold as Plastic Crack is very expensive. So if you want to support what we do here, please go check that out as well. So I guess technically Cabal affiliated, because I think MODOK is Cabal. I go between calling it Cabal and Cabal because of the Mortal Kombat character. Anyway, so we have Killmonger, we have MODOK, we have Crossbones, and we have Doc Ock. Just 4 miniatures. Both missions being played today are threat 15, so that doesn't leave much room for the more expensive people, or take one expensive person and not much room for anything else. And the tactics cards are Usurp the Throne, which is a Killmonger specific one, Battle Lust, which is from the box but is unaffiliated, 1-2 Punch, and Patch Up. And just 4 miniatures in the Avengers affiliated opposing team: Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, which as I said you can see being painted up in a video, and just Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And the tactics cards: Avengers Assemble, Seeing Red, Inspiring Monologue, and Ricochet Blast. Not much else to say. 4 on 4, although MODOK is obviously tougher on his own than the rest of the people present. Let's go over the missions. So the secure mission we've seen before: Gamma Waves sweep across the Midwest, sorry, not the US. So that's the 3 Gamma Shelters. You get 1 point for controlling the closest, 2 for the middle, 3 for the furthest. If you're not in a Gamma Shelter at the cleanup phase, you get 1 damage with no power. So yeah, we don't need to dwell on that one because as I said we've seen it a couple of times. But the new one, however, the extraction is Mystic Wakandan Herbs, Fact or Fiction. Now I will say, I'm showing you the cards, you can pause and read it if you want. It's worded very poorly and overly complex, I would argue, for what is essentially Capture the Flag. You have a base, which is where the herbs need to go. You have a herb near you, and you have a herb over at the enemy. You need to grab the herb over at the enemy and bring it to your container. And if you're holding the herb, you can only move once, but you're immune to slow, stagger, and you get 1 extra physical die on attack die on physical attacks. That's a much simpler way to describe it, but I'll show you where the herbs in the containers are once we get set up and decide on deployment edges. So we're all set up, and as you look at the table, the Avengers are deployed on the left, the Cabal on the right, and the containers are basically in the kind of slightly diagonal corner from each deployment. So this is the Avengers container for the Wakandan herb. This is the herb that the Cabal have to grab and take to theirs. But it's not just a case of having it picked up and then standing near your own container. You also have to be securing it, meaning if there's more enemies around than, or healthy enemies around, than the character holding the herb they need to take, they don't score any points until that situation changes. I may end up just calling them flags rather than Wakandan herbs because it is just Capture the Flag. The 3 Gamma Shelters are there, there, and there. So obviously there's one right at the deployment essentially. If you deploy, well, you're supposed to, it says, like, it doesn't say within 3, it says range 3. So you could technically be a little bit further forwards. Not usually a stickler about that kind of thing, but just pointing it out. So again, this is the container for the Cabal, but this is the herb for the Avengers that they have to come and grab and take to theirs. So what that means is it's going to be very hard to avoid taking gamma radiation damage. And because each side only has 4 miniatures, really have to think about where each person goes and what they do. We haven't decided yet who's going first, but we'll be back with first activation once that's done. Start our battle round 1. So the Avengers side won the roll off to go first in battle round 1. Everyone's generated a single point of power and Captain America has gotten started. He moved up twice, medium to the middle Gamma Shelter. Very, very brazen first move, as if beckoning people to attack. Incidentally, we'll quickly go over how Killmonger and Black Panther act on their activations once we get to them. Give a quick overview of what they're like and what their focus is. But yeah, let's get the game started. Over to the Cabal for their first activation. Doc Ock got things started for the Cabal. He also moved up medium twice, just basically to copy Captain America so that they're contesting the middle Gamma Shelter. So right now it's a draw, so no one's going to claim those middle 2 points at the end of the round. That might change, obviously, but at the very least they won't get radiation damage either. So I think it's over to Black Panther for the next activation. So just to quickly go over what he's like, I would describe him as halfway between Captain America and Black Widow. More expensive but fast, not super offensive but also pretty defensive thanks to his vibranium armor. It basically gives him, I can do this all day, but on his healthy side, and he's got 12 HP in total, 6 HP both sides. So he's fast, he has a little bit of offensive punch, a good defensive buff, and he does have a Wakanda affiliation, but you would need to have Killmonger on the same side, and Okoye, and I never remember his cousin slash sister's name. Shiri, is that it? You'd have to have them as well, and the Wakandan affiliation bonus is just a single reroll on attack or defend, I believe, if you spend power. Either way, I don't think it's as good as a day like any other personally, but that's a quick rundown of Black Panther, because he is going next. So I told you he was fast. Black Panther, he moves long, much like Spider-Man does, so he moved long right next to the herb that they need to capture for the Avengers side, spent 1 power, and has picked it up, so it's on his card now. He'll only be able to do 1 movement action while he's holding it, but he is also stronger and immune to some stats effects, thanks to the Wakandan herb's power. Obviously, in a dangerous position because of 2 people over there who haven't gone yet, but we'll see what happens. MODOK activated next. He moves small, kind of like in an L shape, so he's close enough to that gamma shelter to be safe in it. He then fired a psionic blast at Black Panther and did really well with it, got 4 damage through. Vibranium armor doesn't count blanks in the defense roll against mystic attacks, only physical and energy, so that didn't apply. His mystic defense was 3, I think, and he rolled poorly, whereas MODOK got a couple of crits. So he's only got 2 HP left, which is not good because he needs to get out of there with that herb. And he's not safe in the gamma shower either, so functionally he technically has 1 HP. Oh dear. Well, over to the Avengers. So Spider-Man activated, and his first port of call was to use the Team Tactics card Avengers Assemble, so any Avengers that spend 1 power can move small. So even though the Wakandan herb says you can only make 1 move action, this counts as a Tactics Advance action, so presumably it's okay. And if you're wondering how Black Panther had any more power when he spent the only 1 he had to pick up the herb, he took damage, so he has 4 power from that, it's now down to 3. So he moved and advanced small that away. Spider-Man advanced small forwards, and that gave him enough to get round the corner with his long movement to help contest that gamma shower. For his other action, he just tried to impact web Doc Ock and didn't get through his physical defense. So hopefully he's protected Black Panther a little bit, but he wasn't able to do any damage. So Killmonger was activated next. It's not a great turn to show off what he can do, because he just moved up twice to chase Black Panther because he's after those herbs he's carrying. But in general, as the name might suggest, Killmonger is all about murdering. If he daisies or kills a character, he gets a Killmonger token, and that permanently gives him an extra attack die, I think, or is it a reroll? One of the 2. And those don't go away, so the more murder he does, the better he does. And he has the card, the Usurp the Throne, that's bonus attacks and victory points if he attacks the target with the highest threat on the enemy team. In this case though, it's a draw between Black Panther, Captain America, and one of the other 2, I don't remember. I think Iron Man is 3 and Spider-Man is 4, or vice versa. If it's a draw, he gets to pick, but he needs 3 power to activate it, so he can't do it yet. So he's going in for the kill. Black Panther can move long, but he can only move long once while he's holding the herb. And that brings us to Iron Man to close off the Avengers' first battle round. So Iron Man moved slightly just so he was claiming this gamma shelter back here. Then he fired a repulsor blast at Doc Ock, who had cover thanks to the crates and whatnot there. Got a wild on the attack, so it pushes small before damage is calculated, so that's pretty good because that means Doc Ock is no longer safe from the gamma waves. He already didn't have majority thanks to Spider-Man moving there, but he is also now going to be exposed to radiation. The repulsor blast, all said and done, only did 1 damage, but the push was pretty important. So now it's just Crossbones to end off battle round 1. So poor old Crossbones couldn't do much really. He moved up a little bit to still just being within the AoE of that gamma shelter, and is otherwise just having to wait, which takes us straight to the cleanup and tallying for the end of the first battle round. So at the end of battle round 1, the Avengers secure their gamma shelter closest to their edge, and the middle one for a total of 3 victory points. The Cabal just have the closest one to them for 1 victory point. Those not in the gamma shelter, which is Killmonger, Black Panther, and Doc Ock, all take 1 damage with no power generated off of that. And again, the important part to remember is Black Panther is now on 1 hit. But the Avengers are going first in Battle Round 2 because they didn't go last in Battle Round 1. So everyone generates 1 power, and we will get straight into the second round. So as you might expect, Black Panther was the first activation of Battle Round 2. He spent 3 power on Kinetic Burst, which is his armour bursting into a big explosion based on the damage received. The way it works in this is it's 3 power base for 5 energy, I think, but you can spend up to 3 more power if you have it to add more attack dice, and he had 4, so 1 extra was spent. He did it on Killmonger, it got through for 3 damage. He also had a wild, so he gets pushed small. Everyone within 2 would get pushed small, but it was just Killmonger. And unlike most pushes, it does a set damage point, so he took 1 damage from that as well. That's 4, plus the damage he had already, so Killmonger is now on 1 HP remaining on his healthy side. And then he used his 1 action, his 1 move he's allowed, thanks to holding the herb, to retreat to that gamma shelter over there. It was a good turn for him. Killmonger activated and he spent 3 power to do Usurp the Throne, so we talked about this earlier. It's bonus chance at victory points. Killmonger may spend 3 power to play his card. This round he adds 2 dice to his attack rolls when attacking an enemy character with the highest threat. If it's a draw, he picks. So it was a pick between Spider-Man, Captain America and Black Panther. He picked Spider-Man because Spider-Man was there. And if he does manage to daze or KO someone, he would have scored 2 extra victory points. Sadly he didn't, but we'll get to that. So he was adding 2 extra attacks in. He did 2 power as well for a charge just to move. It's the same version as Baron Zemo has. So it's like move and then a free attack, but it all counts as 1 action. So he did an attack. Normally I think 5 dice, but plus 2 for Usurp the Throne on Spider-Man. It would have done 6 damage, but Spider-Man obviously has his 2 rerolls thanks to Spidey Sense on his defense roll of 3. So he managed to block half of it. Got very lucky. Then Killmonger, as his second proper action, just did another basic attack, and that one did no damage. Spider-Man is super lucky, and in general the Avengers are super lucky, because if that had procced, that would have been 2 victory points for a kill, plus Killmonger would have been stronger. But, c'est la vie. Captain America activated and he opted to stay defending the middle shelter. He spent 2 power on Shield Slam and knocked into Killmonger with it. Wasn't able to do any damage to him, but whether you do damage or not, the target gets pushed small if you wish. So he pushed him, so now Killmonger, who's already activated this round, is in the middle of the open, not near any of those shelters, so it's a Maiwamo Shindiaru type situation. He is already dead, so nothing needed to be done to him. So Cap, for his other action, chose to shield throw at Doc Ock. Wasn't even needing a defense roll because it was 2 blanks, 2 skulls. So did nothing there, but has secured the daze on Killmonger at the end of the turn at the very least. Crossbones activated for the Cabal. He moved forward small, then spent 2 power on Overpower, which lets him move within 1 after it's resolved. Has range 3. He did it on Spider-Man and didn't do that well with his roll, and Spider-Man was able to block the only damage that was going to go through. But it did move him onto that shelter at the very least, although it's still in Avengers' favour. So now it's over to Spider-Man or Spider-Man or Iron Man. So Spider-Man activated, opted to ignore Crossbones, moved along to where you can see him here next to MODOK. Then rather than doing impact webbing, because it was close enough, he did strike instead, which actually is more attack dice. Only got 1 through despite MODOK's 2 physical defense. MODOK will probably be very cross. I like imagining that the Gamma Shelter here on the Cabal side isn't in fact where the icon is, and is in fact the trash can. It's going to be very cramped to fit in there with MODOK already in there, but still. So Spider-Man's over there, and now it's over to either Doc Ock or MODOK for the Cabal. That was fun to say. Doc Ock activated next, and he was real sneaky beaky like, because he used 2 medium actions for his turn to sneak all the way there and spend 1 power to pick up the Wakandan herb for the Cabal side, the flag if you like. So now he's got to get it over there and secure that to get 4 victory points a turn. So with that in mind, it's over to Iron Man to end off the Avengers turn. So to cover the last 2 activations real quick, Iron Man just moved twice to get into being controlling majority of this middle gamma shelter. MODOK though, he had a much better turn. From where he was standing, he just turned around to be dramatic. Spent 3 power on Doomsday Chair and did 3 damage through to Spider-Man, dazing him and securing that gamma shelter for the Cabal. Then, just for lack of anything better to do because he had to stay there to contest, he fired a Psionic Blast at Iron Man. Did really well, did 3 damage to him. Not enough to daze him, because that's his first bit of damage. Also, it would have been 4 damage, but Invincible Iron Man lowers it by 1. So the Avengers still hold majority there, but we'll cover that in the cleanup phase. So at the end of Battle Round 2, although both sides are still holding their Wakandan herbs because they haven't delivered them, there's no victory points there. The Avengers hold their closest shelter for 1, they hold the middle with majority for 2, and then the Cabal hold their own for 1. Meaning that currently 6 plays 2, but obviously the Wakandan herbs are in play. Also, those not in a Gamma Shelter, Killmonger is now dazed and has flipped over for the next round. Spider-Man is flipped over because he got taken out by MODOK. Doc Ock takes 1 damage, but he's... Well, actually that puts him at 3 out of 5, but he's not flipping over yet. And again, it's still the Avengers to go first in Battle Round 3. So Spider-Man went first for the Avengers in Battle Round 3. He had a busy turn. So from where he was, he spent 2 down to 1 or 3 down to 2 to web line Killmonger, which pulls him towards Spider-Man small, and that brought him close enough to spend 3 on Webapult to throw him at MODOK. So Killmonger takes 1 damage automatically. MODOK has poor physical resistance, so he only dodged 1 point of the damage, so took 2. Then that still left him as 2 actions, because that was 2 superpowers, one with its points power cost reduced by 1. So he moved along to get back into the centre. Then he did Taser Web on Crossbones, who has poor energy defense, and he took 2. Well, he would have taken 3, but he spent 1 on Inure to Pain, which brought it down to 2. And that was it. Good turn from there. Crossbones activated, and first of all he spent 2 power on Overpower on Iron Man, which was unable to do any damage to him. So it does involve moving closer to him, though, so he's just shifted slightly. Then he just did a 0 cost strike, got 1 damage through to Iron Man, which is 4 damage on him in total. And basically wanted to weaken him so he can't just go after Doc Ock, essentially, and that's pretty much worked. Black Panther also has the issue of if he isn't in a Gamma Shelter at the end of his turn, he gets dazed and drops the herb. So that's a problem to be addressed. Maybe now, or later, there's still Captain America and Iron Man who can go instead. So after taking those hits, Iron Man is sitting on a lot of power, and he used them. He would have used 3, but down to 2 thanks to Day Like Any Other. He used Friday AI for 2 extra attack dice. Then he spent 3 on homing rockets, didn't shoot at Crossbones, shot at Killmonger, because Killmonger is dangerous. And boy did he do a lot of damage. He did 7 damage. Killmonger is dead. So I apologise, but he will not be getting to show what he can do in this particular matchup. He is gone. But he was a bigger threat than Crossbones, so he had to be the target. Then, just because there was no other target within range, he tried to repulsor blast Crossbones, and he didn't do any damage. Sorry, I totally forgot to cover that homing rockets also explodes on a wild, so the explosion actually caught MODOK as well, who took 1 damage. He's still got plenty of left. He still has plenty of HP left. Doc Ock activated and moved medium, so roughly there. Then moved medium to over there, and because of Wall Crawler, he can just hop over that as if it wasn't there, so it doesn't take into consideration climbing. So he's just over there. He is just carrying that herb to victory, because that's basically the Cabal's only chance now, because with 1 less model, the Gamma Shelters are becoming a lost cause. So with the goal line clear, Black Panther activated. He's only allowed to move one. Oh, he's only allowed to move once. That meant that Doc Ock could only move once. Ah, Doc Ock is actually like there-ish. That's probably getting screamed at the screen. Anyway, so you're only allowed to move once. Doc Ock moved medium to over there. Black Panther moved medium and then just dropped the objective because he's going to drop it when he's takes damage at the end of a turn anyway and flips his card. So it's functionally it's going wherever. He can just grab it next turn and then move with it. So that means it's just MODOK and then Captain America. So that does mean the Cabal will be getting first activation next turn at the very least. Don't know if that's enough to swing things, but we'll see. MODOK activated and stayed where he was to secure that Gamma Shelter for some points. He fired 2 psionic blasts at Iron Man. First one did nothing, the second one did 5 damage, but that's irrelevant because he only had 1 HP remaining. So Iron Man will be flipping his card over along with T'Challa at the end of the turn. He also means he's wounded for the purposes of counting towards that objective, which means it's a draw right now actually, because it's 1 healthy character each. Unless Captain America, who's going last this turn, is able to either take out Crossbones or shove him off the point. So to take us to the end of Battle Round 3, Captain America just did 2 strikes on Crossbones for a total of 4 damage, which was more than enough with the 2 he already had on him, even if Inure to Pain was used. So Crossbones was dazed. He's flipping his card over along with T'Challa and Iron Man. Let's go to the recap for this phase. So then Battle Round 3, the Avengers are running away with it. No one's claiming the one closest to the Avenger deployment though. They have majority in the middle because Captain America is the only healthy one there for 2. MODOK is holding the closest one to the Cabal for 1, and no herbs scored. But the Avengers are pulling ahead. It's 8 plays 3 as we go into Battle Round 4. Obviously, Iron Man, Crossbones, and Black Panther all flipping their cards over, and Doc Ock has taken 1 extra damage from not being in a Gamma Shower, so he is 1 away from flipping his card over, and he's holding the herb for the Cabal. Not looking good, but as we go into Battle Round 4, it is the Cabal going first. So to get Battle Round 4 started, Crossbones activated and used a card from the Black Panther Killmonger box called Battle Lust. Also thank you Battle Lust for reminding me there's eventually going to be a Carnage model. I hope it looks good. So what this does, essentially, is that you have to do a move action, so you have to use up an action, so he shuffled slightly. Then you spend power equal to your size, he is size 2, and you add that many attack dice, and then after it's resolved you can choose to push the target away small. Irrelevant though, because he then spent 2 on overpower, which is like 5, plus the 2 for his size was a 7 attack physical. He did 5 damage to Spider-Man and just outright killed him. So Spider-Man has been removed from play. Battle Lust, that's a good card. And good art too. That's it, didn't do anything else. So Iron Man has activated for the Avengers. He spent 4, was it, on Unibeam, straight point blank into Crossbones' face. It would have done 5 damage, but Inured to Pain brought it down to 4 at the cost of 1 power. That puts Crossbones 1 away from death, I think. Then it was a little bit awkward because 1 medium move wasn't enough to get back to that shelter over there, so he's moved so that he's still within range of that shelter. He can fly, so he can just hop up on those boxes at no hindrance. But he's out of range of MODOK's Psionic Blast, fearing it because he doesn't have good Mystic defense. So, speaking of which, it's either MODOK or Doc Ock now, because we're running out of models on both sides. So the writing is basically on the wall. We're going to play to the end of his turn at least. So MODOK activated, he moved forward small, then he fired a Psionic Blast at Iron Man because he doesn't want to give Cap any power to help him kill Crossbones, essentially. Did manage to do 3 damage down to 2 thanks to Invincible Iron Man, so that's 2 damage on Iron Man. That's MODOK's turn, he's still claiming this, and now it's over to either Black Panther or Captain America. 2 quick activations to cover. Black Panther spent a power to pick up the herbs that he's been carrying the whole game, moved his once right next to there to secure that. That's 4 victory points at the end of the match. Doc Ock, he moved once, medium, and then that put him within range 2 of MODOK, so the team tactic card Patch Up was used. MODOK spent 4 of his power he had on him, doing nothing with it because Doomsday Chair is a limited range, and used it to heal Doc Ock to full health, so at least he's not getting done in by the radiation, or they might be within 2. But either way, it's too late to matter. For Captain America's turn, he's obviously going to claim that middle one. I guess he could potentially take out Crossbones, so we should check that, and then be right back with the end of the turn. And probably the game as well. Captain America spent 2 on Shield Slam, sorry, 3? 3. Or maybe, hang on, how much was it? I have to double check now. No, it is 2, it's 2 for Shield Slam. 2 for Shield Slam. It did 3 damage. Crossbones has been taken out. Well, technically it did 4, but Inured to Pain brought it down to 3, but it didn't matter because he only had 1 left, so he is down and out, taking us to the end of the turn. And so at the end of Battle Round 4, we are going to call a close to the game because the Avengers have just pulled way too far ahead, with the Black Panther getting the Wakandan herbs to his vessel. That is 4 victory points. 2 victory points for the middle one. MODOK and or Doc Ock claiming that one for 1. Brings the game to a close. If 1 more turn had been played, there was no way the Avengers wouldn't be getting to the 16 victory point requirement, so the writing is on the wall, as they say, so let's go to the conclusion. So that was an interesting one. I don't know if we had the full showing of Black Panther and Killmonger, what they can do. Obviously Black Panther helped secure the game, but he wasn't able to get stuck in and attack. Killmonger, if he'd taken out Spider-Man, he would have been, well, he probably still would have eventually went down, but he would have been stronger. There would have been a numbers advantage early on. He got very unlucky that he didn't quite get through Spider-Man's Spidey sense in the Usurp the Throne attack. But anyway, at the end of the game, at turn 4, calling it at 14 victory points to the Avengers and 4 to the Cabal. Like we said at the top of the video, if you would like to support what we do here, subscribing and watching is more than enough, but if you want to go above and beyond, I do have a Patreon that covers both the tabletop side of YouTube and the video gaming side of things I do on Twitch 6 nights a week. If you want to check that out as well, by all means, go take a look. Thank you very much for watching this battle report. There'll be more to come in the future, including painting videos and what have you. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the future. It's that for now.